You found your way to Whispers of Crimes, a quiet corner where the shadows of the past are gently told. Here, we speak of real crimes and mysteries, not to shock or scare, but to wonder, to reflect, and maybe to help you fall asleep. So close your eyes, let your thoughts slow down, and come with me into tonight's case. May 25th, 2012, a chilling video surfaced on the internet. The title, One Lunatic, One Ice Pick. What began as a routine click for some quickly turned into a nightmare. In the grainy footage, a man, barely recognizable, viciously attacks another with an ice pick, his victim screaming in agony. This was not fiction. This was not a movie. It was real. And it was just the beginning. What drove Luka Magnotta to commit such an unimaginable act? Why did he want the world to watch? And how did the internet, in all its power, help catch a killer? This is the story of Luka Magnotta, a man who sought fame at any cost, no matter how horrific. Please be advised, this episode contains content that may be upsetting to some listeners. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Chapter 1. The making of Luka Magnotta. Eric Kirk Newman was born into chaos. Born in 1982 in Scarborough, Ontario, Luka's early life was anything but stable. His mother was strict, cold, obsessed with cleanliness to a punishing degree. His father battled schizophrenia, slipping in and out of psychiatric institutions. By age 10, Luka was already navigating a world where safety was an illusion. Foster homes, constant moves, bullying at school, alienation. He learned one thing early: if you wanted attention, you had to create it. As a teenager, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia himself. He found an escape in glamour, fixating on celebrities, plastic surgery, and magazines. Ordinary life was not an option. He would either be adored or he would be infamous. In his 20s, Eric transformed into Luka Magnotta, model, actor, escort. He auditioned for reality TV, posed for photo shoots, appeared in adult films, but nothing stuck. Nothing brought the fame he craved. So Luka created it himself, littering the internet with fake fan pages, fake rumors, even fake relationships with celebrities like Karla Homolka, the notorious Canadian serial killer. It didn't matter if it was real. It only mattered that people were watching. Chapter 2. A Shadow on the Internet. By the late 2000s, Luka Magnotta's name was becoming notorious, not for his looks, but for horror. Anonymous videos surfaced online. Videos of a man, often masked, harming kittens, suffocating them, drowning them. The internet recoiled. Animal lovers, activists, even amateur sleuths rallied together, forming online communities hell-bent on tracking the perpetrator down. But Luka was smart. He played cat and mouse, taunting those who chased him. He denied involvement publicly, while privately stoking the fires, feeding the mystery with new rumors and even more disturbing content. Every time outrage exploded, Luka was at the center. He didn't care about being loved anymore. He realized fear was just as good, maybe even better. Investigators feared it wouldn't stop with animals, and they were right. Chapter 3. Murder in the Spotlight. May 2012, Montreal. A disturbing video titled One Lunatic, One Ice Pick appeared on a shock site. Most thought it was fake at first. It wasn't. In grainy, stomach-churning footage, a man, later identified as Luka Magnotta, brutally murdered another man with an ice pick and a kitchen knife. He then performed acts so vile they defied comprehension. The victim was Jun Lin, a 33-year-old international student from Wuhan, China. Jun Lin had recently moved to Montreal to study engineering and computer science. He had dreams, a future, loved ones waiting to hear from him. but he had answered a Craigslist ad for companionship posted by Luka. After the murder, Luka dismembered Jun Lin's body. Parts of Chun's remains were mailed to political party offices in Ottawa. Other parts were left scattered across Canada. It was a horror show, and Luka made sure the world was watching. By the time police identified Jun Lin, Luka had already disappeared. Chapter 4. The global manhunt. The world erupted in shock. Interpol issued a red notice, a global manhunt for Luka Magnotta. He had boarded a flight to Paris just hours after committing the murder. What followed was a desperate international chase across Europe. Luka changed hotels frequently, dyed his hair, altered his appearance. He used cash instead of cards. But he couldn't resist his own reflection. In Paris, he visited internet cafes and obsessively Googled news about himself. In Berlin, Germany, his addiction to attention betrayed him. At an internet cafe, Luka was recognized by an employee who calmly notified the police. When officers arrived, Luka barely resisted. He simply said, "You got me." The phantom that haunted the web was finally in custody. Chapter 5. Trial of a Killer. In 2014, Luka Magnotta stood trial in Montreal. The courtroom was packed. Journalists, Jun Lin's grieving family, a nation demanding justice. Luka pled not guilty, claiming he was not criminally responsible due to his mental illnesses, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, antisocial traits. The defense painted a picture of a man detached from reality, controlled by inner demons. But the prosecution argued Luka was cold, calculating, and very much in control. They showed evidence of his planning. He booked travel in advance. He posted threats online. He filmed the murder for shock value. He meticulously mailed body parts to maximize fear. After 10 weeks of trial, the jury deliberated for just 8 days. They returned a verdict of guilty on all charges. First-degree murder, committing indignities to a human body, mailing obscene materials, harassment. Luka Magnotta was sentenced to life in prison, with no chance of parole for 25 years. Chapter 6. Inside the mind of Luka Magnotta. What makes a Luka Magnotta? Some see him as a tragic figure, destroyed by untreated mental illness and societal neglect. Others see him as a manufactured monster, consumed by vanity and sociopathic need. Psychologists have pointed to narcissistic personality disorder, an insatiable need for admiration, lack of empathy, obsession with self-image. Others highlight schizophrenia's role, voices, paranoia, breaks from reality. But Luka's actions were methodical, deliberate. He didn't just kill, he staged a performance. He chose the camera angle, the props, the soundtrack. Fame wasn't a side effect of his crime, it was the goal. Even behind bars, Luka has reportedly sought attention from marriage proposals to media interviews. For Luka Magnotta, being infamous was better than being forgotten. Chapter 7. Legacy of Darkness. Today, Luka Magnotta sits in a Canadian prison, his name etched into true crime infamy. His story continues to echo, especially in the digital age, a chilling reminder of how the internet can amplify both greatness ... and evil. Netflix Ston TF**K with cats captured the digital manhunt that brought him down, highlighting the power and dangers of online communities. But his story leaves a lingering question. By giving attention to criminals like Luka, do we risk feeding the very hunger that created them? Or by exposing their crimes, do we strip away their power? One thing is certain, Luka Magnotta's journey from a broken boy to a global headline is not just a crime story. It's a cautionary tale about fame, obsession, and how far someone will go when the world refuses to look their way. And remember, sometimes the greatest monsters aren't born. They're made in the silence, in the loneliness, and in the shadows of our own making. That's all for tonight's story. Another thread in the web of true crime, quietly unraveling as the night goes on. If you're still with me, thanks for listening. And if sleep has already taken you, may your dreams be peaceful and your mind at ease. I'll be here next time by the fire with another story waiting to be told. Good night, and don't forget to lock your doors.